Hi-ho, Stampers. Deb Valder here, your Fun Stampers Journey Coach, and today I'm going to show you this rainbow fish card. I think it is absolutely adorable. The book that inspired me to do this card was called the Rainbow Fish book, and I love it. I have given it to my grandchildren, and they love it, and I gave them this card. It's absolutely adorable. I'm going to do some different backgrounds. I'm going to show you some different backgrounds, and today I'm going to do one even more different than what I'm going to show you. So this is the book that inspired me. If you've read it, you know how adorable it is, but it's just a really cute little book. All right, so this is one of the cards that I did with the rainbow fish. You'll see that I have real live scales on her, and she's just adorable. Now you see this background right here, it was just done with the lovely blue background, and I just did direct to paper, making it swirl so it looked like it was in the sea. And then this one I did with our watercolor paper, and I just did the marbling effect. It was really fun, but a different background. And this one right here is just stamped with some of the stamps that are in the rainbow fish background. You can tell I love this stamp set. I think it's absolutely adorable. And this one was one of my original ones. I do have a video on this one, and I used my modeling paste as a little background right here with some glitter on it. Here is just a very simple one done with, again, just our watercolor paper and some of our splashes. Again, with our splashes, aren't they absolutely adorable? And this one, what I did was I added some glitter to make it look a little bit scaly also. So no matter what you do with this adorable little stamp set, they come out so cute. All right, but we're going to focus on this one right here, and I'm going to do a background that's even more different than this right here. Let me just show you the stamps I'm going to use. So for the fish, I used the rainbow bubbles. Okay, there's 10 stamps in there, really adorable. For the words, I'm going to use Be Your Own Kind of Beautiful, because I think that kind of goes along with this little stamp, okay, because she is beautiful. And then for the little seagrass, I used Totally Awesome. So let me just show you in our catalog how they group things together is just amazing. So on these 2 pages, these are the stamps that I'm using. This happens to be our nature section, and I've got my turtles here, I've got my beautiful wings here, and I've got the rainbow bubbles here. Totally Awesome has a die to go with it, but these 2 don't. So I fussy cut both that and the fish right there. Not a big deal. It's really kind of neat. Now I'd like to show you how to do the background. I've got a 3 1/4 by 4 1/2 inch piece of cardstock, and this is regular cardstock. It's not watercolor paper. It's just regular cardstock, and I'm going to make this bubble background on it. So I'm going to bring in one of my little trays. This is my media tray. I'm going to bring in some new Catalina Splash liquid color, and I'm going to bring in some Dawn dishwasher soap. I have a straw, a bendy straw, and I am going to bring in my water. So now I'm just going to add some water to my pan. You don't need a lot. I'm going to take some of my dish liquid, pour that in there, okay? And I'm also going to pour in some of my Catalina liquid color. And you can pour as much or as little as you want. Remember, this is water soluble, so it mixes well with water, and it's good for cleanup. So now what I'm going to do is just take my sponge and stir around my color, getting it all blended. Like I said, you can put as much or as little, so you don't need to contact me to ask me how much you need. It just depends on how dark you want it. The darker, the better. All right, so now what I'm going to do is blow some bubbles with this straw. I'm going to run my paper across it and pick up some of those bubbles. Okay, the darker the more bubbles you get, you want to just let them stay like that. They'll pop by themselves and they'll make the circles. You see, just like that. Did you see how that just popped? You want those little bubbles to just pop on there, and what it does is it makes the background for you. So let me just see if I can get some over on this side. See, oh, look at those. Those are going to be really awesome. When it dries, the paper flattens out, okay? So let's see if we can get some more of those little bubbles on there. The fatter the bubbles, the better. Okay, you don't want to stick it into the water because you don't want to get solid colors. This is so much fun. This is just so much fun. You can get your kids involved in this one, or just kids at heart. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this side to dry, and it does dry a little bit darker as you go along. I want a little bit more on that one corner over here. So let's get some. This is so much fun. Okay, so playing in the water. Okay, so I got some bubbles. See how awesome they are? Can you see the different bubbles right over here? It's perfect for this little card. It is absolutely a perfect technique for rainbow bubbles. Hello, people. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this aside to dry, and we're going to bring in our little fish, and we're going to start on the fish. So I'll be right back. All right, so now let's work on our little guy right here. So what I did was I stamped him in black licorice ink. I poured some clear embossing powder on it, and I heated it. And so now he's all done. All right, now we're going to color her, him, whatever. I'm going to bring in one of my blocks, and I'm going to bring in some colors. So this time I'm going to use my re-inkers. So I also need to bring in my Fusion Blender. All right, so I'm going to bring in some pink because she has some pink on her. All right, so there's some pink. That's my bubble gum. I'm going to bring in my Pool Play, which is my lighter color. All right, and then I'm going to bring in some Blue Lagoon. All right, and let's see, I've got some Sour Lemon. That's my lighter of the two greens. And then I'm going to bring in some Limeade Splash. All right, you don't need this many colors, but hey, you know what? This is, there we go. This is the rainbow fish, so you definitely need rainbow. All right, so let me grab one of my blending brushes. I think I'll grab the large one for this, okay? And I need some Fusion Blender. So when I have a lot of colors, I just do a whole line of my Fusion Blender. All right, so there we go. We got enough there. And we're just going to whitewash this little guy in the front part of him. All right, so let's go with putting some Fusion Blender on there. Oh, well, we'll start with our pinks. Grab some scrap paper here. Not that I'm going to get it all over, but you never know. All right, so let's just grab some of our pink. All right, we're not going to be too fussy about this. It's just going to be really adorable. There we go. Alrighty, so now I've got to figure out what color I want her face to be. I think I'll go with the blue again. Okay, this is the color of the book. So I'm just going to kind of whitewash this. And this does lighten up. We don't have to worry about the inside there because we've got our little scales that we're going to put on there. Alrighty, there we go. Alright, so now her little face is all done. I'm going to add just a little bit of green in here. Alright, just to give her that fishy look. Alright, there we go. Then I'm going to go a little bit darker right over here. There we go. Okay, and that's going to all lighten up. All right, so far so good. Does it look like a little rainbow? Adorable. All right, so I think we're done with that part of it. Let's bring in, I embossed these with white embossing powder. I cut them out with the die that goes along with the stamp. And I'm just going to bring in some of my inks now and just color these. All right, we're going to set that aside to dry. I'm going to clean this up. There we go. And then I always leave a little bit on there, put the top on, and it just conditions your brush. All right, so I'm going to set these aside to dry, and we now have, see how beautiful this is drying? It's so cute. All little bubbles, all little bubbles. All right, I'm going to set that over here so we don't get that in the way, and now the fun begins. All right, so this is, to get the scales on here are absolutely a blast to do, and it's not hard and it does not take very long. I'm going to bring in my media tray right here because I want to keep my sequins separated. Okay, so I'm just kind of putting in, because I want to take all different sizes, and then I can just put them back into the jars afterwards, but this keeps them separated. All right, so these are my 3 different kinds of, now this is very important because this little bead right here, I want to find the biggest ones that I can, is all about what the little fish is about. So if you've read that book, you understand what I'm saying. All right, and then I'm also going to take this for the little bow in her hair, or the little flower in her hair. All right, so we're going to take and set that up there like that. We're going to put this here, and this is so awesome. We're going to take our Journey Craft Glue. We're going to start down here at the bottom, all right, and just put a row of glue all the way down on the bottom. Okay, just like that. Stick it back in there. All right. Alrighty, so we're going to grab the, we're going to start with the little guys right here. So I'm just going to pick up one, okay, and just drop it on. Alright, so the first one is just kind of like the anchor, and now they're all going to get rested onto the one just before it. Whoops, that one's a little too big, so I'm going to take that one off. Put it back over here, and I'm going to start with little ones, okay? Here we go. Oh, that one's a little big too, so let's grab this one. And we're going to go with some blue ones now, and we're just going to keep altering them, all right? So some of you are saying, oh my goodness, I could never do that. You know what? It is so much fun just dropping these in here. And once you get the hang of it, it's a blast. It's an absolute blast. Just take and alter them back and forth and just set them in here. Now remember, our glue dries clear, so don't worry about about getting glue all over the place. I'm adding another row of glue right here, and I'm just going to keep doing that all the way along. Alright, so now I can start using some of my bigger ones and just doing different colors. Now on my last row, I want to get it all the way to the edge, and we're just going to end it off with some of my smaller ones and fill-ins. See how this goes all the way to the very end of where his face starts. Okay, we're just going to add our last row. Remember, if you have any glue showing, it's not going to show. Okay, so we're going to take our last row right here, and fill in. All right, I'm just looking for some of the bigger ones because it's just easier. Now the littler ones are good to do fill-ins, so when I look at this, if there's any bare spots, I can actually add one. So let me just show you what I mean right here. There's glue showing, but it won't show after it dries, but I'm just going to show you. You can add things just like that. I just slid it right through in there. All right? It's really so much fun to do this. And here she is. Now the last thing that I have to do to her is to put her little bow on, or her little flower in her hair. So I'm going to grab my little flowers here, and I think I'll take one of the big green ones right here, because I think that'll stand out a little bit better. All right, and I'm going to put some glue right here. There we go. And this is going to go right on the top like this. And I have one pearl left right here. Let's grab our bloom tool, add our little pearl right to the middle of it. Oh, so cute. All right, so there's that. So our little fish is done. I'm going to add, see, this is where I was telling you could add little pieces. So this one I think needs to be popped up right there. The rest of it looks pretty darn good to me. Maybe one little tiny one right here. Oop, stuck to my finger. There we go. All right, and as this dries, like I said, as it dries, you're going to see that all the glue disappears. All right, and now, oops, let's put that away. It's a flower. All right, and now let's put these over here for now, so they don't end up on the floor. All right, so we've got these little guys, we've got these little guys. Let's start putting our card together. Now, do you see how beautiful that came out? This one's still a little bit wet, so I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to use the one I did previously and put the backing on it. So let's just start by folding our card first one way, slightly pushing it down, and then turning it inside out. Okay, and using our crease tool, we're going to get a nice crease on this card. All right, so there's that. And now I'm going to take and grab my electric line, cut out the center so I don't waste paper, and I will add that to my card base. Like I said, this one's just a little bit different than the original one, but I love changing it up a little bit here and there. All right, there we go. It's going to go right here in the center. And then, oh, isn't that so cute? All right, so before I do that, I'm going to add these little guys right here, the ones that here they are. I just painted these. All right, I'm going to cut out the centers right here. I'm going to go and cut these centers out. All right, so I cut out my centers, and I'm going to add those to the bottom here. Now I want to add my little fish and see just about where she's going to go, so I can cut off some of these little guys like this. All right, so I think I know where they're going to go and where she's going to go. All right, and then our words will go right there on top. So I'm actually going to cut some of these off. So let's put some glue on the backs of these. Right here, that one's going to go right here in the middle. All right, just like that. And then these are going to get popped, so I need some of my little foam squares here. Alrighty, 1 and 2. I love dimension on cards, don't you? All right, so there's that one. See how that one just kind of overlays the other one? Let's go up a little bit higher. Alrighty, and foam squares on these little guys. And then I'll take my Grand Pro shears and just trim it off. Okay, here's this one. Okay, alrighty. Take your Grand Pro shears, turn it upside down, and just trim it off on the bottom. Okay. And now we can pop that one up. Or do we want to lay it? Well, I think I'll lay it right down. So let's just grab our adhesive here. Oh, I'm at the end. Alright, so let me just show you how you refill these. Alright, you're going to take that, you're going to take your new one, and where you have those little guys right there, they lay right inside there like that. This pops back on like that, and you're ready to rock and roll again. Alright, there we go. And then this is going to go right down here like that. Just a little bit of the green peeking out, and that picks up the color down here. I just love this, it's so cute. Alrighty, and then we're going to take, and she's still wet, so I want to be very careful. I want to make sure that I can still see that silver sequence, which I can. Very important to the whole book. Alright, so I'm going to be very careful. Oops, I just lost my pearl, so I'm going to glue that one on. Alright, there's that. And I'll add one right here. Normally I would let this dry, but for the sake of finishing up my video, I'm just going to forge forward here. March on. I don't know. And here's my little guy right here. Okay. Alrighty, so there's that. I think she's still intact except for the... I think I'll put this underneath here. She's swimming through the corals. I don't know what this is called, seagrass, I don't know. Alrighty, so there she is right there. I'm going to take and put some Journey Craft glue in here for my pearl. Alright, throw that back in there. Whoop, get in there. Alrighty, so there's that. And then, I'm going to put this up here like that. Alright, so let's pop that on. There we go. And last but not least, we're going to take and just put a couple, because I don't want to cover up all of my beautiful bubbles back here. Okay, so I'm just going to take and put a couple of my blue sequins. Alright, so here's one right here, one right here, and these coordinate so well with our colors. I love them. And I think I got one down here. Let me get a bigger one here. Isn't this so adorable? And it really did not take that long at all. There we go. There we go. There is our bubble background and our sequins little. Aren't they adorable? Look at that. And here's my little rainbow fish book. What do you think? Isn't it adorable? Be your own kind of beautiful. Yay! So cute. I hope you enjoyed my post today. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm here to help, and you know how to get a hold of me. Thanks for stopping by.